Hi, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Halal-ish with me, Zain, Shazia Mirza, and Ola Labib. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Today is an exciting episode. It's called Halal for Clout. Okay, we know. Mhm. We know some people, like, all of a sudden they're like, what is that called? That what is it, like a groundhog that comes out to see if we're gonna have more winter? They're like the groundhogs. When Ramadan comes out, they're out too, and they're being Muslim for that month. So, this week's episode, we're going to talk about why are non Muslims doing hijab tutorials? Why is that one ex Muslim randomly celebrating Ramadan when it's a brand deal season? We call out the clout chasers, the culture vultures, and the part time Muslim cashing in the Muslim aesthetic. Okay,
I
guys.
know. So apparently that's what they call Muslim fish. So you've got catfish, you've got blackfish, people who are not black pretending to be black. Muslim fish is a real thing, and that's what they call it, Muslim fish.
Really? That is the first time I've ever heard of that term, Muslim fish. I'm okay. You guys know me. I love my social media. I'm on my TikTok. I'm on my Instagram. And I see a lot of these people come out of the woodworks during Ramadan, of course. That is the peak month where people all of a sudden realize they're Muslim. Okay? Now, look at here's the thing. Here's the thing. I kind of like it. I kind of like it because, like, I feel like not everybody is at the same level of Islam. You know what I mean? So if these people who maybe during the non-Muslim peak months like scramble a little bit and they have a couple of issues here and there, but during Ramadan they really try hard, I don't see a problem with it. I
No, but do
really
they
don't.
try hard? Do they try hard for God, or do they try hard for the branding
That's
deals?
That's the question. That is the ultimate question. If you are trying hard because you're like, it's Ramadan and this is the one month I can get closer to Allah, this is the one month I can try to, fix myself in certain aspects that I'm lacking on. All power to you. All power to you. But if this is the one month that Adidas reaches out to you and tells you, hey, we have a hijab with a little check mark on it, will you talk about it this Ramadan? I got issues with that, bitch. I got issues with that.
Uh,
What do you think,
Shazia's got
Shaz?
something.
Listen, the thing is, this kind of part-time Muslim, this part-time Muslim, this kind of plastic Muslim. I mean, every culture has them. The Irish have this thing called the plastic paddies, where they call them
Oh.
people who are Irish but not really Irish. So people that are Irish but not born in Ireland, born in other places, and kind of they're not really Irish till they celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Then they're Irish. And it's like they have that term, plastic paddy. And I know a lot of part-time Muslims. You've got to be part-time before you can become full-time. I
That's
say,
true.
Excuse
say,
me. I
I
went full time
say,
straight
you
away. Full
can't
time
just
contract.
you don't wake up one morning and just go full-blown Muslim. I mean, it's a process. It's a process. Give the guys a break. It's a process,
No,
You
Yeah.
start
Shazia, I
off.
don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with people being part time Muslims. I don't care what you do in your own life. What I do care is someone that's non hijabi 99% of the time. All of a sudden, there's a hijab brand, and they give it to the non hijabi who's going to put a hijab on for a brand and not give it to the actual hijabi. That is a very big issue for me. If you want to drink, if you want to eat pork, if you want to twerk on the weekends, I don't care. As long as you don't take money off my table, and I pray 5 times a day. I want to be rewarded in the dunya and the akhirah for it, okay?
Listen, man, I pray 25 times a day.
Yes, she
Honestly,
does. Times a day.
I'm ready for a prayer at any moment. I keep my wudu. I'm like, oh, I'm on. I've got a prayer mat in my bag. I'm like, every time that azan goes off, I'm ready.
Let me tell you one thing, Ola. Even when I fart, Ola goes. Shazia goes and redos her wudu. Okay.
I'm like, it's called.
She does wudu on our behalf.
It's called passive farting. It's passive farting. It's when your farting affects other people's wudu. It's called passive farting.
I'm not gonna lie, that one Zayn did in the minibus, I didn't do wudu, I did full ghusl after smelling it.
Hey, my fart smell like flowers. How dare you? I'm a full-time Muslim. How dare you?
But you know what? I know a lot of Muslims who wear the hijab at funerals, at weddings, at segregated weddings. When they hear Islamic prayers being called, they cover their heads, you know, and they don't wear the hijab all the time, but they do believe in it, and they do believe in the religion. So I just think that let's just cut the judgment. Let's just cut the judgment, man.
I'm not judging them. I'm not judging them as people. They can do. I don't care. Do you know, it reminds me of this guy that I used to work with. I know categorically at the end of every month on payday, he would go clubbing, he would drink, he was very promiscuous. He was known for taking body shots off girls. This guy was diabolical. And then one time, it was break time, and I bought a chicken sandwich from the Co-op. Co-op is like a type of Walmart or Tesco's or Sainsbury's. And he came into the room and he was like, oh my God, Ola, I think that chicken's haram. And I was like, bruv, you took a body shot of Big Boob Bobby last weekend and you're telling me that my chicken is haram? How dare you? It probably was, but I don't care. Like, imagine the judgment. So I don't care what people do in their personal time. I literally don't care what people do. I'm talking specifically about people who are non-practicing, who don't wear hijab. Like, for example, there's a comedian. I'm not going to say where she lives, what part of the world, what her identity is. Let's keep it as anonymous as possible. I know categorically she's non-practicing, non-hijabi. But when it comes to a Muslim gig, she was willing to put her hijab on just for the money. And she could have easily said, oh, I know you want a hijabi comedian, but I'm not hijabi. She would wear a hijab just for that gig. And sometimes I'm like, did the promoters not look at her profile and know that she's non-hijabi? But she straight up said, I'm willing to wear a hijab for this tour. Now, do you think that she's taking an opportunity from a genuine hijabi comedian, number one? Or number two, like, okay, maybe if she was like 10 out of 10, top tier, funny, you know, do you know what I mean? But then again, whose fault is it? Is it the tour shows people's fault? But Shazia, I'm specifically talking about people who pretend that they are hijabi for money. That's what I'm talking about.
I knew somebody like that too. She used to wear hijab and then she took it off, but then she kept it on just for her comedy that she did. But then eventually she actually took that off as well. And I told her, I didn't like when you did that. It kind of felt like you were using the hijab to get to where you are, but also it felt like you were mocking it in many ways to me. And for me, she said this was her way of transitioning out of it because she did used to wear it. As somebody who does a lot of acting, I will say is that we don't have a lot of muhajjaba actors here in Hollywood, in LA. So every time I go to an audition, I see all these non-Muslim women, or maybe some are Muslim, and they're wearing the hijab just for that part. That also gets me a little bit as well, but at the same time, that is more understandable than wearing a hijab for a stand-up gig. That makes zero sense to me. Why would you wear a hijab for a stand-up gig if you don't do stand-up? Oh, no, I think you shared this one girl recently where you're like, oh, look, there's a new hijabi stand-up comedian. And I went through her Instagram. I was like, this bitch ain't hijabi. Like her tits
Yeah.
are out here. She's just wearing it whenever she feels like it'd be funny on stage. And that shit I don't like. That is
Yeah.
mockery. I don't like that.
So that's
So
exactly it.
it's kind of like doing
Mockery.
blackface. It's kind of like doing blackface to me. It's like if
Hijab
you're
head.
doing it to make fun of it, yeah, I don't enjoy that hijab face. There you go. I
I,
don't enjoy that.
I think sometimes though people go to auditions and they get asked to cover their head. They get
Yeah, they do.
asked
Correct. Correct.
they get asked to wear a hijab because it says in the script, hijabi character. So
Correct.
people that are not naturally wearing the hijab, they do put it on to try and get the job, which I think from their point of view, they're doing it as, oh, I'm just playing the character. I'm
No, I
just,
agree.
you know,
No,
I don't
I totally agree. Hmm.
I don't think that they are think of the religion or that they are loyal to the religion. Or I mean, I know Hindu girls who've gone for auditions, and they obviously they look South Asian, but they are Hindu, and they've been asked to put the hijab on and play a hijabi character, and
We
because
are
they're
lady parts. We are lady parts. The main character. She is the main character of a show that is about Muslim women in a rock band, and she's not Muslim, and she wears the hijab. Like I get in Zayn. I get in your point of view because there's not many there, but I know
There's not
multiple
many.
hijabis in the UK that I think would have done great, like acting in that role. Um, and at the end of the day, if I was a non-Muslim and I was offered a role that was a really big role, paying well, like of course, like let's be honest, you wouldn't say no to it. It's not them that you should be upset about. It's the casting directors who are happy to cast non-authentic roles. And there was like a big thing about like what was it, like straight actors, for example, playing gay people. There was like a big outrage about it,
Yeah.
that was going around on social media. But I do understand that there's not always certain, you know, minority groups that can play it. But we are specifically talking about non-practicing Muslims who don't practice at all that capitalize of the Muslim thing. I know people who have had books published of the back that they were born Muslims and they try to do the whole Muslim thing, but they straight up have absolutely no affiliation to the religion whatsoever. They don't care. They don't practice. They openly don't practice, but they use that as a almost like a diversity box to tick to get themselves in rooms.
Yeah. They want to be the token Muslim when they're not even. I don't even want to fucking be the token Muslim anymore. Like, don't
I
make me the
don't.
fucking. I don't want to be the. Why would you want to be that? I will say that I lost an amazing agent here in Los Angeles. I had gotten an audition to be on Miss Marvel. And it was to play an
Ooh.
entrée. Yes, it was like a big thing. So it was to play an entrée. I did the auditions. The actual producers came back and told my agent, "We love her. We want her for Miss Marvel. The only thing is, can she do like a Pakistani South Asian accent?" And I went to my agent. I said,
Ooh.
yeah, I was like, "I'm not South Asian though," and that comes off very racist to me. I was like, "Can you tell them I'll do an Arab accent? I'm Arab. I don't mind doing that. I've done that before." And she went and told them, they said, "No, it needs to be South Asian." So I
No.
told my producer, "No, there's a lot of amazing South Asian actresses that can do this role. I will not do that. I feel like it would be something just to once again mock South Asian women and with these accents." And so, of course, I didn't get the role, and my agent let me go a week later. She was an amazing agent. She was
That's
just
so
like,
the only South
yeah,
Asian we're allowed to mock is Shazia Mirza. That's it.
yeah. I should have told her, here's Shazia Mirza, get Shazia Mirza for that. But yeah, I mean, like
I
we
could
do lose
never.
parts, but for me, my dignity is more important than that role. For me,
You would have been. torn apart by the South. If you would have picked up that role and you would have been an Arab woman doing like an Indian accent, you would have been torn apart by the South Asian community.
100%. Even though I'm closer to a South Asian than like a white person who would do that role. But you know what I mean? But also, I would not do for myself. The last role, and I think I told you two this, but let listeners listen to this. I got an amazing call by a big ass producer in Hollywood. The casting director said, "This director saw you, the producer saw you, they love you, they want you for this role." And I was like, hell yeah, finally, it's Zane's time to be seen. I was so excited that I was like, yeah, what's the role? Chatty ISIS wife. Chatty ISIS wife. I was like,
Shazzy,
first
you
of
would
all,
have done that.
I would have killed that role too, bitch. I would have been amazing. But I was like, no, I can't do this because of my dignity. I'm not going to do chatty fucking ISIS wife. Though, yeah, would I be great at that? Hell yeah. I'll slurp up that roll. I'll eat that roll up. But that I'm not going to do it.
Why not? What was it about the role that you thought, I don't want to do this?
I don't want to be an ISIS wife. I'm done just because I'm Muslim and I want the hijab. Like, I'm going to be an ISIS fucking wife? Like, come on.
Shazzy is saying that because she wants to snatch it up. She's like, is that role still going?
You know what? I would have had no problem doing that.
No.
I would have loved it because I would have made it really funny and hammed it.
It's not a comedy though. It's a drama movie.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
That's
As a
the
drama.
difference. If it was a comedy and I'm like being funny and stuff, even though I don't think I would still wouldn't done it, but it's a dramedy.
You say that. There was
drama.
a show. Do you remember it, Shazia, called The Real Housewives of ISIS? Do you remember it?
Yeah.
You know, I met one of the girls. It was so offensive. It was so offensive on so many levels. None of the ISIS wives were Muslim. They were just non-Muslims pretending to be Muslims with hijabs and burqas and blah, blah, blah. It was so offensive. I met one of the actresses of it and she said, I got so many death threats off the back of it from Muslims, and I'd never watched it at this part, and I was like, that's awful. And she was like, yeah, I had to change my social media because people, and I was like, wow. I was like, that's a bit far-fetched. And then I watched, I'm not saying she deserved the threats, but it was so offensive. It was literally written to make Muslim women look stupid. So if I would have to read the scripts, and heads up, I think there is something coming out about ISIS wives soon. We spoke about it, Shazia. Let's not mention names and stuff. But it's funny. It's a comedy, and what I like about it, it doesn't paint ISIS wives in a negative light. I really, I swear.
I mean,
I swear,
a few minutes ago, I was watching. It's number one on Netflix at the moment, and it's about the capture of Osama bin Laden, and it's really interesting. It's a documentary. It's number one on Netflix. It was so fascinating because, yes, it's about the capture of Osama bin Laden, but they captured him. He was in a 3-story house in Abbottabad in Pakistan. And they talk about the wives. There's 3 families living in there. And they talk about the wives and the women in there. And actually, they are portrayed as very strong women who literally run everything.
Wow.
They were running the house. They were looking after the kids, taking the kids out to school, going shopping.
They go to school?
Well, they were homeschooled, but when the kids went out, there was like the wives. There was like loads of women in there. I don't know how many wives he had, but there was definitely 3 families living in there, and they were kind of the visible people running the show and doing absolutely everything. There was hardly any men there to be seen. They just never. The women are portrayed as very strong because when the CIA came in to shoot Osama bin Laden, apparently all the wives, all the women lined up against the CIA men.
No, they did not.
To try and stop them coming in. They all joined arms like that and built and they built a human wall to try and stop the CIA from getting in. And I thought, These are the ballsy, strong women that I know that would fight against the police, that would fight against the CIA. The fact that Muslim women are portrayed as, oppressed, repressed, depressed,
Mm, mm, mm,
it's
mm,
such a
mm.
load of rubbish. These women, Muslim women, are so strong because they do everything and they put everybody before themselves.
They were protecting that rat ass looking man. That's like,
I was laughing my socks off
his
because
DG must be strong. His
because
DG must be strong.
the CIA men were built like monsters. They had muscles coming out of here. They were armed. There was 27 of them, and
I
these
would have thrown myself at the bit. No, hold me.
women thought, no, you're not coming in here. No, I'm going to put a stop to this.
Do you know why they didn't let him in, though?
Wow.
Do you know why
That
they
is
refused to let the
so
CIA men
ballsy.
in? Honestly, do you know
That
why
is
they
the
didn't let them
ballsy.
in?
That's the ballsy Muslim women that we
No,
know.
no. The reason they didn't let those CIA men in is because they didn't take their shoes off before they came in, and
Oh, shut up.
Do you know what? Do you know what was hilarious? Is that the CIA men were going to actually bomb down the door, and one of these women said, "Why don't you just open it?"
Shut up. She's like, knock first, bitch, before you come in.
yeah.
Have some manners. Okay, you guys, I think we diverted a
This was
little
just
too.
hilarious on every level.
This needs to be a whole nother episode. Chatty ISIS wives. There we go.
No, do you know what? It's really interesting. It's like it can. So you turning down that role is because it's just another reason just to slag off Muslim women. But actually,
Yes.
there are ways to do that. And I've read scripts and I've read books that have swayed things that actually make Muslim women look positive. Like there was the book I read. Shazia read it as well. This basically, there's an author who actually worked for the UN, and one of her like missions was to go and de-radicalize ISIS wives, and that was her genuine work. That was her job. She was a Muslim woman that went and de-radicalized ISIS wives, and she created a comedy book based on her experiences.
That's beautiful. A comedy book.
It was well, it's a comedy drama book. And I don't know, like the actual story about the ISIS wives and like how she went and how she had to fight because she was like, these girls are just brainwashed, and some of them had been like realized what was happening. They were groomed, they realized what was going wrong, and they wanted out, but the government were like, it's too late, you've made a mistake, you can't go. And some of them were as young as like 16, 15. It's like Shamima Begum, basically. So it was a really interesting insight. And something like that, I would, as long as it's within like my faith boundaries, I would definitely be involved. But something just to make Muslim women look stupid, never, ever, ever.
No, I was pretty sure this role was just to make Muslim women look stupid. That's it. Because the whole point of it was just off. Are you guys on TikTok quite a bit?
Oh, too much.
Yeah, me and Anna are on it quite a bit. Shaz, you a TikToker or not as much?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, and somebody runs my account for me, but I do get a lot of messages on there, and I get a lot of interaction on there, but I don't engage in it. I find TikTok to be it's so bizarre. I tell you what happened recently. It's like late at night, I was in bed and I just went on TikTok for a minute, and the screen was black, and there were just all these voices, and it was it was basically a Muslim account, and they were having a discussion, and these women were coming in.
Oh, it's alive.
And it was alive, that's right.
Yeah.
And the women, they didn't want to be identified. And what made me laugh, this one woman, she came into the conversation, you couldn't see her face, and she said, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm just going to make one comment and then I have to go because it's not right to be here without a mahram.
Why are you on TikTok that late at night?
I'm like, You are not doing Hajj, love. You are on TikTok. You don't. Where do you need a Merum to go on TikTok?
Hey, you don't know. Maybe she was at Hajj TikToking live.
I mean,
You know.
you are. I just thought, well, since when do you need a Merum for TikTok? And I
Oh,
said,
Shazia, explain what Mehram is, by the way, for our non-Muslim listeners.
it's
What's a
basically a
Mehram?
man.
It's basically a man.
It's basically a man. Either your brother, your
Or an ISIS
father.
woman, a man or an ISIS
It's
woman.
just a man. Just a man. Any man will do. Preferably, or someone that you're. Yeah. But
What if you're a man but you had the sex change surgery and you no longer have a penis? Can you still be a man?
okay. Okay.
Hey, these are real questions. These are real
Shazia,
questions.
Shazia went, okay, anyway.
Oh, I just wanted to talk. You stupid whack. What are you doing on TikTok in the first place? Why'd you have to come on, make an announcement? I'm sorry, I'm not here without my Merum, so I've got to go. I just thought, you twat, just get off.
that I like how that did not go anywhere the way I wanted to go. We're talking about clout and Muslims and Shazi's like, let me tell you about this bitch that didn't have a bottom. Came on a TikTok live the other night.
I said, I'm sorry, I can't stay long. I haven't got a Merum. Who the fuck are you?
Do you know who I am? I'm Shazia Mirza.
And they didn't even know that I was listening to this shit, and I'm now talking about it on this podcast.
Oh my
That's
God!
good.
Imagine
They should do a whole
that
live
same
just
person
on
listened
this.
to it. 100%.
Okay, what I was going to talk about is if you're on TikTok, you aside for Shazia, you probably know this really famous Muslim TikToker and his family called Chemo Kazi. Hola, do you know him, Shaz? I'm not even going to talk.
Yeah.
You know him, bitch?
You know why he's called Kamikaze, don't you?
Because what?
It's after kamikaze as a catastrophe. You know, the kamikaze bombers.
Okay, Shazia, you can't talk anymore on the show. You keep diverting us.
No, I've never heard of Chemo Kazi.
You haven't. Okay.
Let me show.
Let me see if I can
Yeah,
show
show
you
me,
him.
show me.
It's him. It's him. Look.
Yeah.
No, I don't know who he is.
No. Okay, so him and his family live here in California, and they're Muslim. And I mean, they see themselves as Muslim, even though some people don't. And every Ramadan, people talk shit about them because all of a sudden during Ramadan, they do more Muslim-centric videos, more Arab-centric, and people are like, you bitches, yes, sisters, like, you're not Muslim, why do you do this? And every Ramadan, they come on and they're like, guys, enough, we are Muslim, stop talking shit about us, and it's not just Ramadan that we do this, but how do you guys feel about that? Because, like, not everybody is raised in a very Muslim-centric household. I think these kids were raised in maybe an Arab-centric household because they're Syrian, but maybe not Muslim-centric. Their mom is very open, their dad is very open, and once again, nothing wrong with that. But during every Ramadan, they seem to capitalize on their Muslimness. That's what people feel, that they're capitalizing on it. And
they
so
probably do.
they get a lot of hate, huh?
They probably do. That's probably exactly what they're doing.
I think they do in some ways. I think a lot of people do in some ways. I mean, there was this guy, if you guys remember, during not this Ramadan, last Ramadan, he would fast during Ramadan, and he's not Muslim. His name was Troy. And he got so many followers because he was fasting during Ramadan. And a lot of people were like, I myself was like, amazing, I love this. But a lot of people were like, he's just capitalizing on this Muslim thing. You know, that's not fair.
I fasted Ramadan every single year for the past 25 years. Okay.
I think it's cool that there are these non-Muslims who are doing like fasting during Ramadan now. It's all over on TikTok now. All these people are starting to fast during Ramadan. Some are doing it in solidarity of Gaza, some are doing it in solidarity of their Muslim friends, some are doing it in solidarity of just they feel like we as a society we have so much, and how would it feel to live off having so little, you know?
Oh, I think
Not
that's amazing. Oh, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
I think it's amazing. But if they're making money off the back of it, that is probably where I draw the line of, is that the reason
Well,
you're doing it?
someone like Troy and Kimokazi probably definitely makes money off of that. If we're going to talk about Troy in of itself, he got a lot of followers, including myself, who followed him for that
Followers is
Ramadan.
different. Yeah, that's fine. Followers is different. I'm talking about like getting branding deals off the back of, but like, so if, so it, if people want to do that, that's completely up to them. I think my thing is, again, anyone can do whatever they want. I don't care. But if you, as a non-Muslim or someone who doesn't identify as a Muslim or doesn't practice or doesn't believe in it, starts getting work as a Muslim and taking opportunities of identifying, practicing Muslims, that is where I draw the line.
I think I'm the same. I believe in that too. I'm like, if like Kimokazi and his family, his sisters, if during Ramadan they want to start being more religious, which most Muslims do, let's be honest. Most Muslims, they eat like whatever, the whole, they don't pray, they eat pork, they sleep around, they drink, but during Ramadan they try to practice not to do that. I don't see an issue with that, as long as you're doing that for not even just the sole purpose, but even if you're thinking in a way that this will get me more followers, for me is a thing too. Followers, more likes, more money, more clout, then you are just not even at in the same mindset that a Muslim should be during that time.
I've heard of people giving up alcohol for Ramadan.
Wow.
But
I have friends who do that.
yeah, because it's like the Christians have Lent,
Yeah.
so people kind of give up chocolate for Lent, and I know Muslims that have given up alcohol for Ramadan, and I'm like, we're not the same. It's not the same. You see, Islam is a way of life. It's 24 hours a
Oh,
day,
that's
7 days,
beautiful.
365 days a year for the rest of your life to the day you die. So for us, it's not about a month or a year or a week. It's a
Yeah.
way of life. Islam is a way of life, and it's if you are practicing, you try and practice in all areas of your life, not just in selective ones. And I think this is where the problem is that you talk about these Muslims that wear the hijab for an audition or to get a certain part, and there are people that pick and choose what is convenient for them or what is easy for them to practice, because in the West, it is hard to practice
Yes.
all areas of life. You know, we're working. It's hard to just stop working and then go and do salah in the middle of a gig, in the middle of a recording.
Mm.
So it is really hard. And so I think that this selectivity has expanded in so many areas now. And people, you know, and the thing is, it's hard to criticize because some people say that they are practicing and they don't wear the hijab or they don't fast or they don't pray 5 times a day, but they call
Mm.
themselves practicing. And
Mm.
who am I to then challenge that?
Yeah, you're
Because,
right.
Correct.
you
You're
know, so
right.
it's very hard. So if somebody puts the hijab on to get a part in a comedy or a TV show, their argument could be, well, I am a Muslim. I just
Yeah.
don't wear the hijab all the time. I am Muslim. And then who are we to kind of judge and challenge that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be honest, if they were Muslim and they put the hijab on for a role, I don't have a problem. That doesn't, because at least they're Muslim. Like, I don't care. I think I definitely draw the line of non-Muslims playing Muslim roles.
Yeah.
That's where I draw the line. But no, I completely agree with you.
I will say that when I was younger, I was more, I think I consider myself more of a judgy Muslim when I was younger. Because, for instance, there are women who wear hijab and their hair in the front shows, right? When I was, you know, in my 20s or whatever, I used to say, why the hell do they even wear hijab? They should just take it off. I have no issues if they take it off, but why are they wearing it like that? It doesn't make any sense. And then someone told me, and it really changed my mindset on hijab. I know this is like a whole nother thing, but someone told me just one simple little comment. They were like, you know, when someone looks at you and the way you're dressed and the way you wear hijab, they will say you're not muhajiba to them because they wear
Yeah.
like a burqa, they wear like a abaya, they cover half of their face. And I was like, I sat there and I really sat with myself and I thought about it. I was like, they're so fucking right. They're right. They're absolutely right. Who am I to judge? Who are we to judge that
Also,
aspect?
you know what you just said there about, why bother wearing it if you're just going to cover half your head?
Yeah, yeah,
In,
yeah.
in Pakistan, nobody wore the hijab. Like when we used to go to
Yeah.
Pakistan as kids, nobody wore the hijab. Everybody used to wear the dupatta, which was basically half your head covered and the other half not.
Correct.
And Benazir Bhutto, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, was famous for this. She used to go out with the dupatta half hanging off her head, and that is a cultural Pakistani thing, but it's still considered respectful. And practicing Muslim women, that's what they do. They wear a malala, they wear a Benazir Bhutto, which is half the head covered, and that's
Yes.
a dupatta. But to us in Pakistan, that was considered the hijab.
Yeah, correct. I see a lot of Pakistani women who wear the hijab like that, and I realize that it's more a cultural and traditional
Culture.
thing. This is the way they were raised. This is what they thought was, and you have to open up for those people who are too judgy. Let me tell you, I was like you. You have to open up your mind and realize that not even our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would judge these people. Who gives you the right to judge? Now, once again, there's a difference if they're doing it for money or for clout or whatever, like we said. But if they are just trying their hardest, if these people on social media are just trying their hardest during Ramadan or during peak days of Islam, of being Muslim, I think we should support them. 100% we should support them. That's the way
I
it
think
should
so.
be. Yeah,
And it'll
yeah.
make other people see, and if they have massive following of non-Muslims and they see that they're practicing during Ramadan, they could be teaching somebody something. And you know what? Maybe with all the support that the Muslims give them during Ramadan, like for example, you know that woman from Dubai Bling, the only
Which
South
one?
Asian one.
The only
Uh,
I know who you're talking about.
and she has
Hold
she
on.
has an autistic son.
Yes, yes, yes. She's funny. How do I know? Like, why? How could I forget?
She was
Oh
having beef
no,
with Safa.
Farhana.
Farhana. So, for example, she released a TikTok where she was wearing hijab and reciting the Quran
Wow.
with her son, and it was so beautiful to watch. And there were some people like, but you're not hijabi and you're not this, but then which I thought was really horrible. But there were other people that were like, mashallah, you look so beautiful in the hijab, may Allah bless you, and like you for, oh my god, you look so, oh, your recitation is so nice. And she started to respond to their comments. She went, oh, thank you so much, blah blah blah. And so sometimes like you doing something that's more religious than what you usually would do and getting such praise, maybe that will encourage you to better yourself. So I guess there's like
100%.
two bits to it, but this has been a very interesting episode.
This, what's so interesting is that there's this girl who is considering reverting to Islam on TikTok again. And she put out a whole post saying that it really scares me to revert to Islam because of the haram police, because of the way people judge the way I practice Islam. God damn, you guys are scaring people from becoming even
Yeah.
Muslim.
I was in the haram in Mecca, and doing Umrah, and I was wearing this long black abaya, and it's boiling hot, and I was just in the haram praying, and this woman kept staring at me and staring at me. She didn't say anything to me, and then she said to my sister, "Tell your sister, me, that I can see through her abaya." And I can see through her abaya. It's see-through. And I just thought there are millions of people in this haram. Nobody has noticed that about me. Nobody has pointed that out to me. Why are you sitting there watching people, watching how they're dressed, looking for stuff to point out to people?
Oh, do you
And
know what?
it made me so angry. I just ran away from that area, went to another
Oh,
place
I'm
where I
sorry.
could pray in peace, where I wasn't being watched and I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
being judged. And I thought, if you're seeing these things, you're the problem, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
shouldn't be seeing these things.
What if she came up to you and pulled you to the side and said,
That's
"Hey,
different.
it's
That's
different, right?
different.
Right? I
She
agree. Yeah,
kept staring at me, but never said anything to my face.
yeah,
Then she said it to my sister, to tell my sister to tell me. And I thought, why? Why don't you just tell me yourself then?
yeah, yeah. Just
Oh,
have respect and come to me, come to you. Like,
But
yeah.
also, is it a problem for you? Is it affecting your life? I don't understand that need to keep on pointing things out to people.
do you know
Um,
what? I think we need to do a full episode of the Haram Police.
Oh my
oh, yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah.
I
We
think that'd be
call them
such a good
out.
episode.
We call them out. Woohoo! The
Yeah,
popo is
we need
coming for. We
the
are the
Haram
popo.
Popo. The
We're the
Haram Popo.
halalish popo. We're the halalish popo.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we can talk about all the times the Haram police have criticized us,
Uh,
pointed things out to us, saying we're going to hell, saying we're infidels. Or we can point all of that out and say, well, there's millions of other women that have probably experienced that end of the stick.
oh yeah, 100% there are.
And why that is sometimes beneficial, but most of the time it is taking the ummah backwards.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's why our ummah is so divided, man. Honestly, all of this is that's why our ummah is so divided. But definitely we'll do a Haram Police episode. Zayn, what are your final thoughts?
my final thoughts are I think we all agree. We love that out there you're trying Islam even if it's for just a month. You're trying to become better even if it's just a while. You're trying and that's what matters. Just don't do it off our backs. Don't do it for the clout. Don't do it for the money. Not only Islamically is that wrong, but it's also very degrading for us Muslims. So I think that's the point. I think all of us can agree on that.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. And
I
this has
love
been
it.
I love this so much. So yeah, thank you for tuning in for this episode and look forward to seeing you guys in our next episode.